What is going on, Badger fans? Great show today. Cole LaCrue, quarterback prospect for the Wisconsin Badgers, visiting the show. Really excited to chop it up with him on today's Locked On Badgers. We're going to get into his game, his recruitment, what he thought of Wisconsin, all that and more. Let's go.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to Locked On Badgers. I am Ryan Herrings, your host. Your team every single day. We are here to cover it, here to build the community. So grateful for everybody tuning in. And again, we got an awesome guest today. We're not going to waste any more time. Cole LaCrue, quarterback out of Broomfield, Colorado, visiting. Cole, man, thank you for jumping on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for reaching out, man. I'm excited to chop it up with you.
Let's do it. So we coming off Wisconsin visit week 2. I just want to start here. Actually start here. So out of Colorado, 2023 prospect, like you've been awesome to start this season. Came to visit Madison. What was the game day experience like in Madison for you?
So, it was tremendously getting, reached out by some of the coaches there to come out there for the game. And so when I got there to Madison, I think Friday night, it was, crazy to look at because I didn't realize, that you guys have 2 lakes right there and the state capitol's right in the middle of town. So, obviously getting there, scenery-wise, I loved it. I thought it was really pretty. So when I got to there on Saturday morning, we got there around noon. There's barbecue. I talked to Coach Casey Raybach, I think his name is. Mm-hmm. And he was the first guy that kind of reached out to me. I got to talk with Coach Mickey, too, the recruit guy. And, it was pretty cool, because all the recruiting visits I went to for last year, like CU and CSU, and, they didn't take a lot of time to respect the recruits and didn't, like them guys a lot. So it was kind of fresh air to, experience coach staff that's been watching your film, been keeping up to date with you. And it was really good to meet them guys in person. So, and the tour was amazing. The facilities they have, I think I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but I think they're getting $300 million new facilities.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it's out there.
I didn't know.
Yep.
But they talked to me about that. So that was pretty cool. Obviously when I walked down, I didn't realize how big the stadium was. I did a little research and I should have done more. And it was big stadium I've ever been because only Empower in Denver only holds, I think, like 77,000. And you guys had 80,000 to the brim. I think everyone was there. And so it was surreal, I'll be honest. And it was I was smiling the whole time, just admiring everything. And, that's a spot I see myself playing in. And I talked to the coach, Engram, a little bit before the game. And then it was pretty cool. He talked to me for a while. We just talked ball. And so it was pretty fun. And then during the game, obviously, we sat right behind the Washington State section or Washington State sideline. So just kind of watching the game with my grandpa was pretty cool. And then obviously the jump around, man, I didn't know what to expect. That was my first time, being in that kind of thing. And I heard about it. Coach Casey was talking to me about it. And I'm like, no way it gets that rowdy. And I'm literally sitting there and the crowd is going crazy, just like how it's supposed to be. And I remember looking at my grandpa, and he's got a big old smile on his face because we have family that are Badgers fan. And my principal's actually, her husband was a Wisconsin Badger. He played football there. So they warned me about it, and I didn't know what to experience that. And it was just everyone's going crazy. I couldn't stop smiling, and that was pretty cool. But, obviously they didn't take the dub, so that kind of sucked. But, it was pretty cool.
That sounds awesome, man. So fair to say exceeded expectations or met expectations at a minimum?
Exceeded without a doubt, because I didn't know really what to expect. So I was just going in there, and I knew it was Big Ten football. And I was going in there thinking, it's just going to be another game day experience because it's from what I've been to at CU and CSU. But, man, it was something different, I have to tell you.
What was it like talking? Because you mentioned you got to talk some ball with Coach Engram. Obviously, he was on the Ravens staff last year with Lamar Jackson. What did you guys – I mean, again, no specifics, not asking for anything, but what was that like talking ball with him? Was it more of a general discussion? Did you draw out some plays? Did you talk scheme?
So, it was pretty cool talking to him because I've only started talking to him recently. Wisconsin just found me pretty recently. And so finally getting to meet him in person was pretty good. He, said I am what I am, which is good to finally hear that people know that I'm not lying like some of these recruits. But, it was good. He said he loved my film. He says, loved my athletic ability. He says, he'd love to coach me. And we just talked a little about what they're going against today. He talked to me about what Washington State's going to do defensively and how they're going to try and, pick them apart. And so he sounded pretty confident then. And he sounds like a guy that's kind of laid back and, he's going to trust his players. So I really valued that. And then he just kind of talked about my gameplay, said that, He loves the way I move, loves my arm talent, loves the way it just pops out of my hand, he said. And it was pretty cool talking with him, but looking forward to, keep talking with him over these next couple of weeks and, hopefully gain that offer.
Let's talk about the game itself. So, obviously, like you said, Wisconsin didn't get the win. But Graham Mertz, I thought had a pretty good game, actually. Hit some really tough throws. Or when you're watching him play, or you're watching that scheme, do you picture yourself out there running those concepts? Is that something you can really see yourself doing? Or is that a departure from the type of player you are?
No, and I love going under center. In our offense, we don't do it, but I try to recommend, because I love going and play action. I love booting. And, for what I saw, I thought Graham played pretty well. That first touchdown was an absolute dime. He floated it right over the defensive back, right under the tight end's hand. And, I thought you guys could have went a little more with the pass. And, I thought the concepts you ran all day, you guys were doing exactly what you wanted to do against them. And, Graham played really well. And I thought, to win that game, I think you guys needed more to go through the air and more spread. But, that's what just Wisconsin is. You guys were a ground and pound team. And I thought with what Graham had, I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, I totally agree. And by the way, there's some Badger fans who agree with you that they should have thrown it a little bit more, but certainly Mertz, did really well. I wanted to ask you about playing in a Big Ten environment in that type of atmosphere. Everything I've seen, everything I've read about you, like you're not intimidated by a bigger stage. Like you kind of, even starting this podcast, I would ask you if you're ready. You said born ready. Like what does it feel like for you to be looked at that stage of football, at that level of football?
I feel like I can go to any stage and play. Nothing's going to intimidate me. I don't care if you're a foot taller than me and 350 pounds. I want to go against you, And there's something about me on the field where I don't care how big I am or how little I am. I'm going to try and do my best to win a football game, and I put my body on the line. And so being in that atmosphere, I think I could thrive with it, because I know how passionate Badgers fans are. And, I love having the community behind me. And, I fuel off their energy. And if I know that we're having a good game and Wisconsin fans are, going up and down crazy, it's only going to make me play better, because, I don't shy down to no one. So I'm going to try my best to win a football game. And if I have a good community base behind me, I think I'm going to play even better.
I love it. Well, final question on your game day visit. What did your grandpa think? You said he came along for the visit, was in the stands with you. What were his thoughts?
So he's been a sports fan for a long, long time. I wish I could show you guys this basement. It's filled to the brim with like memorabilia, signed footballs, but he's got Mike Tyson boxing gloves, and it's a total man cave. So I took him with me, and I didn't know really what to expect with him, because I didn't know if he was going to be shocked or kind of scared by it, but he thrived in it. And it was honestly looking at him, and, that's what really sold me about it, is that he enjoyed his time there too. And, we both were laughing throughout the game. The Washington State fans got us cracking up a couple times with some of what they had to say. And he really made that trip something special, because I'll remember that for a long time. And he really enjoyed the game. He agrees that Wisconsin should have thrown the ball a little more, but he's not going to judge the coaches. That's why they're a coach, and he's a fan.
Mm-hmm.
So he just, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. What a great memory for the two of you. That's absolutely incredible. Coming up, we're going to keep Cole on the show as long as possible. Like all of our really good guests, we're going to run out of time before we run out of questions. Coming up next, we're going to talk about his game, break it down a little bit, put some film up, walk through a few plays. That's coming up next on Locked On Badgers, so stick with us. But first, today's show is brought to you by Upside. So we've all felt this cringing at the pump. It's $2 or $3 more than it used to be per gallon, and it hurts. It's eye-popping. Your favorite restaurant, inflation's there, and it's hitting us hard. And it hurts. Like, it hurts all of us. Most of us aren't independently wealthy. That's why I started using Upside. Upside is an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, dines out. Basically, anyone who lives a normal human life, right? With every purchase, I'm earning cash back thanks to Upside. It's an easy app to use. It's not too good to be true. You just get cash back for doing the things you already do. I use it. It works. It's a no-brainer. I'm going to take some of that money, decorate my man cave, which if you look on the walls behind me, I need some gear up here. I need some swag. I'm going to take some of that Upside cash, get me a Melvin Gordon jersey, a Russell Wilson jersey, maybe some type of Riddle helmet. I'm going to upgrade my stuff with the cash I'm getting back from Upside. To get started, all you have to do is download the free Upside app. Use my promo code LOCKED and get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Claim an offer whenever you're buying on Upside. Check in at the business, pay as usual, and then you get paid. It's super easy, incredibly simple. And in comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty points, you earn 3 times more cash back with Upside. Download the free Upside app. Use promo code LOCKED to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase at $10 or more. That's $5 or more cash back, first purchase at $10 or more. Use promo code LOCKED. I want to thank everyone again for tuning into Locked On Badgers. I appreciate y'all so much as we build this community. We're going to get Cole back on the show. Again, we're going to run out of questions before we run out of time with him. Cole, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about your game a little bit. Definitely want to throw some film up here. But first, I wanted to ask you this. Off the air before we got started, we talked about EA Sports, NCAA. You love it. I love it. I'm from a generation. I'm a little older than you, but we played it religiously every year it came out. They're going to be releasing it again. You are a D1 quarterback. You have D1 offers. Watching your film, you're absolutely going to be at that level. You're going to be in the game. I want you to give us a rating on a few categories. Where are you going to be in NCAA? So let's start with arm strength. What is your arm strength?
So are we going realistically or what I think I am? Because I know realistically they're going to, put that freshman quarterback.
I want your swag. Like, I want quarterback, what you think you are realistically. Absolutely.
All right, gotcha. All right, let's start this.
Arm strength.
I'm going to go 90. I think I got pretty good arm strength.
I think that's very fair. I think you're actually, to be honest, I think you're underrating yourself a little bit watching your film.
Yeah, I know. And I would, just knowing EA, they're putting me on a 90. If I'm being honest from my perspective, I'm like a 96. I think I have one of the, no one sees it a lot because in my tape, they don't see it, but I can get it out there.
Well, I got a clip. We're going to put it up there. I think, honestly, and again, this isn't hyperbole, right? It's not just because you're on the show. I told you this before. I think your arm strength is really underrated. You make some flat-footed throws where you're really putting the ball out there. Let's go speed.
Probably an 84. I'd say not. I think I'm faster than that, but I'm putting 84 just because I'm a quarterback.
Okay. Accuracy.
Oh, I'm like a 96. I'm pretty accurate.
Last one. Football IQ, awareness. I mean, the EA Sports has a couple different categories.
100. Put me at 100.
How would you rate? I love it.
Put me at 100.
I think they can only go to 99, man. I
know, 99. I wish they did, but no, I'm pretty football smart. I've been around the game since I was about 2 years old.
I love it. No, I love it. All right, we're gonna put some film up here. I'm gonna show you a couple clips. We're gonna watch a clip, and then we're gonna rewind to the beginning. And just talk me through what you're seeing, what happened. I'm really excited to do this with you here. Let me share my screen. All right, you can see this?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So I think this is from, if I'm pulling this up here.
Week. Yeah,
yep, this is your last game, right? Okay. 14-19, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. You got a tutty on the ground, 70 rushing yards. I think it's his first play here. I'm just going to let this play, then we're going to rewind it.
Okay.
All right, let me go back to that one. So that's right there is kind of what I'm talking. I want you to talk through this play, but just from my perspective, like that is like a 60-yard bomb in stride. Like you're throwing it from like the 45 and he's catching it near the goal line. But talk me through kind of what kind of offense are you guys running? What are you looking for pre-snap here?
So in our offense, our coach has this he has his own kind of offenses. I think it's called gun wing offense. But this play, we're going spread. We're going 3-by-1. And all game we kind of destroyed them because they weren't very smart, I'd say, football smart. They kind of made mistakes all game. So we actually alerted this. We went backside post. And so front side, we have this little concept called dart. And it's like a go. And then he's going to run about a 17-yard corner almost. But it's almost like he doesn't even go straight. It's just directly to a corner. And so I saw what I liked. They were playing one high. They played cover one pretty much the whole game. They played one high, and he was shifting to the trip side the whole time. And so I took my 5-step, and I think went 5-0 protection here, so that's just man up across the board. We might have fanned to this. I don't think we did. We just went 5-0. And then so I dropped back, and I saw the pressures coming from the outside. I stepped up. And I don't like to do 2 hitches, but I had to on this one. I just put it up there, and I let him run and get it. So I was only like 52 yards. I could have gotten way more into it, but that was just what he got there too.
52 in stride though, right? Like there was a perfect pass. You didn't have to slow up. And really quick. I like how, again, this is really smooth. How you just kind of climb the pocket a little bit here, right? The rush goes around, climb the pocket, release, bang. I love it. All right, let's do the next one here. Again, we'll just let this one play out.
Okay.
All right, let's go back here.
So this one we went our flood concept where we have two receivers set. So we have 2 guys on the outside. We have a guy in motion. This is what I'm talking about, our gun rocket offense. It's guys going to come in motion like that. It's a different type of thing. And so we had a 15-yard out. We call it a bend, and that's about 8 to 14 out. And so all I was looking for here is what I thought they were going to do. Their corner sat, which I don't know why they did that all game. They rotated the safety over, but you can't do that when we have this far much of the field. And so he was just late to it. And I actually got pressured coming to me, so I kind of had to throw this off the back foot and kind of just side on it.
Who missed that block? Did you get on him? No, I'm kidding.
It was my running back. I said something to him when we have a little TV on the sideline, so I said something to him. He got beat, I think. Yep. And so I saw it coming, but I knew I couldn't scramble on that. We had this opportunity, so I took a little hit and I just kind of flung it out there. I kind of did a little sidearm thing, not really sidearm, but flung it out there, and I knew that he could make a play.
I think that's what I really like about that play. First of all, I love how intelligent you're able, or how well you're able to break these down several days after. Like, for those of people watching the show, I didn't send these clips to him. He's breaking these down basically off the memory banks, which I think is awesome. It shows how cerebral you are. But that's a play where you couldn't step up in the pocket there. Like, that's kind of back foot, great touch right over it. And he said, like, the safety couldn't get there in time. It's great touch, couldn't step up, took the hit, touchdown.
Yeah.
All right, let's watch this one here.
Okay.
I don't think we need to spend a ton of time. This is a pretty broken coverage.
It's So we had this concept where it's actually the outside receiver is supposed to run a curl. So if you see me, I kind of go up and I'm like, oh God, what do I do here? And I messed up, and I threw my running back on the wrong side. I told him to run a swing on the left, which I thought he was supposed to be in motion, and he was. And I was like, oh God. So I step up, gonna try to make a play here, and I see him break free, and I kind of just do a little jump pass, and obviously, like he said, it's a broken play. He actually fell down, which I thought was hilarious, but.
It's right here. He fell on right here. You know what I love about this, though, and this is I wasn't going to include this, but there's something I saw watching a lot of your film, as much of it as I could, where you do a really good job of scrambling, but keeping your eyes downfield. Like, a lot of quarterbacks get to a point where they scramble, they put their head down, and you get into some moments where you're like, oh crap, but you keep your eyes down the field, because you can see the defense is keyed on that. All these second level defenders actually step up to you when they think you're coming.
Yeah.
And I think you do a great job of just keeping your head down the field. And that's kind of what I was going to throw on that one. Let's watch one. There's one more clip out of here that's coming up next that I want you to kind of talk about. That's not this one. Let's go to the next one, actually. Because we could break down film all day, but unfortunately, I only have a few minutes here. This one right here. Okay, let's watch this one. I think this is another really kind of interesting clip. So we'll watch it, then we'll break it down. All right, let's go back to that.
Perfect. All right, so this one we kind of have a mesh, not a mesh concept, but we have a kind of crossing route. So our number 2 was supposed to run a corner, and our outside guy was going to run a post, and it was going to kind of trail him. That way he can get it open. But what happened here is our 2 completely forgot what the route was, and I kind of looked in panic because our backside guy just ran really deep and kind of right into what their coverage was. So I kind of knew I had to, make something out of nothing, because the post got open late. I just saw that now, and I don't like what I'm seeing. But they had a safety over the top. They went to a too high look, so that's why I didn't throw it. But anyway, so I'd step up in the pocket. I'm looking. I'm like, okay, I can try and make some play. And I see number 10 look at me, and in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm a better athlete than you. I'm just going to outrun you. So I went to the outside. I broke him out there, and these guys, I just kind of had fun with them. I went outside and got, I think, 20 something yards on that. And, we obviously, I think, scored on the next play, a little shuffle pass.
Oh, I went one past. Sorry. Yeah, I was coming back to here. Again, I talked about this earlier. I really like what you do here, where you've kind of broken this. And like you said, you are a better athlete than all these players. There's some other clips that are just nuts. But when you break this, you're still looking downfield. You have green grass here. You could run right now and no matter what, get 5, 6, 7 yards, play some hero ball. But I really like the way you are constantly trying to find the next receiver, keep your head up long as possible, and then you run. I think that's a trait a lot of quarterbacks don't. A lot of young quarterbacks don't have. A lot of old quarterbacks don't have. Where does that come from? That patience to keep kind of scanning the field? Is that something you've always had?
No. So actually, my sophomore year, there was a play where same situation, except that the number one wide receiver was wide open down the field. And during film, I got chewed for it. We won the game, but I got chewed for it. And so ever since then, because I've only been playing quarterback for 4 years, like only the quarterback position. And so I've just been trying to be smarter. And I know that as a quarterback, you're supposed to throw the ball first. So that's my mentality now, is just try and find your open receiver. But I know with my athleticism, I can make a play with my legs.
I love it. I got one more to show you, and I think this one is just Badger fans need to see this if they haven't seen it. You probably know which one I'm going to.
I think I do too.
Let's see if this doesn't load, we'll just move on. I hope it does, because it is just a banana scramble.
I do too. Maybe we just start from the beginning. Oh, there we go.
Oh, here we go. Okay, yep, this is it right here. So again, We'll watch it, then we'll talk through it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, let's come back to the beginning of that one. Picked up some nice blocking by the way, on the way back around.
Yeah, that was for my brother, which is fun.
Was it? That's awesome.
He was actually celebrating. He just had a pancake and started doing the Dougie on him, and he didn't realize I was coming back until then. He finally got back up and did his job. So here we just have 11-yard outs on the outside. They're playing pretty much just cover 2-man the whole game. They were just kind of squatting. They're actually, the Holy Family went to a cover 4, but when they were inside the 20, they went to a cover 2-man. All they did is they just squatted their guys outside, and we had 11-yard outs, which I didn't like the concept, but I thought it was going to work. It didn't. And I think our slot missed a block on the edge right there, the guy that came up free.
Yep, a bit of a free runner.
Yeah, so, I step up in the pocket, make him miss, and then I'm scrambling, looking to pass, and 74 is running at me, and God, that kid was something. And so then I would go forward, and I see, guys are coming after me, and I know, okay, I'm going to make a play. So I cut back across the field, which you usually don't want to do, but I just know my speed and athleticism was going to let me around the corner and obviously score the touchdown. It doesn't get it on a film, but I was doing the stanky leg on these guys, and I was doing the stanky leg and kind of, having a little fun, because this game, they were crosstown rivals, so I wanted to put it on them, so I did. So it was pretty fun.
That's an awesome clip, and I think that illustrates kind of the I had a friend, Justin Joko, who's on the show at times, and he said your play reminds him a little bit of Brett Favre, just being a bit of a gunslinger, right? Like having some of that ability to go off script, like when there's pressure in your, we saw it in the second clip, right? Pressure right up your face, throw off your back foot, reverse field, keep your head down the field. I think there's a gunslinger component to your game that makes you tough to game plan against, and I think this play right here illustrates that for sure.
Yeah, no, and that's something that I strive on, is I don't want to be, a simple guy where they're just going to be like, oh, he can just sit back there and throw the ball. Let's just drop 6 or 7 back in the coverage and just rush 4. I want to be a guy where they're thinking, okay, we can either stack the box and he's going to destroy us in the air, or we're going to drop 8 and I'm going to destroy and run. And so I've just really worked on becoming a much more better athlete, and just a lot more work for my game.
I love it. All right, coming up, one more quick segment with Cole. Again, very, very appreciative of your time, man. We're going to talk just a little bit about your recruitment, where you're at, timelines, that kind of stuff. That's coming up next on Locked On Badgers. Thank you, everybody, for staying with us, joining Locked On Badgers. Really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate Cole. Before we go any further, buddy, where can people find you? Where can they follow you? What do you have going on? Is there a best way to follow your season as it's unfolding?
So I'd follow me on Twitter. It's LaCrue, LACRUE, Cole, COLE 18 on Twitter. That's Instagram, and I think TikTok too, if you want to get me on there too. But follow me on whatever you want. Huddle, I'm always on Huddle, just Cole LaCrue. And I'll just keep posting my highlights and keep letting everyone know how good the Broomfield Eagles are doing this season.
Absolutely. Definitely follow along. And we're going to post all that in the show notes. Give them a follow. Check out what's going on. The highlights are a lot of fun to watch, quite frankly. They're awesome. Let's talk about your recruitment, Cole. You obviously had to visit to Wisconsin. Do you have any visits coming up? Do you have a timeline for when you would like to kind of get your recruitment wrapped up, if possible?
Yeah, so I got a timeline coming up. So I'm going to head up to Cal Berkeley the 24th. I'm going to go check them out. Or maybe actually I changed that to them against Oregon. So I'm going to go check out Cal. I'll go check out Washington State. I've been talking to them for a couple months, so it was kind of good to see them in person against Wisconsin. And I'll go up there for their Cal game, which is funny. I'll go to Kansas and UNLV, Rice, and then a couple other schools have been starting to talk to me more. I had a Sports Illustrated article written about me, and a lot more have taken more notice. So those are the ones that are just planned right now, but I'm going to see what happens this fall.
That's a lot, man. How for people who have never been in those shoes, how much of a grind is it? The recruiting process, visits while you're in season, practicing, still keeping your academics up to spot.
It's tough. I'll be honest. Traveling a lot. I played travel baseball my whole life, so I remember in the falls I'd be traveling. But it's I'm only a 17-year-old kid, so it's a lot to balance on my plate. But I love it because not many people experience this moment that I'm going through in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's not always me. I have a great support system around me. I have a great family and friends that are here to make these things happen. Without them, I wouldn't be able to go to Wisconsin. I wouldn't be able to go to Cal Berkeley. I wouldn't be able to go to Pullman. So it's really fun to, be experiencing this, and it is difficult, but I enjoy it.
That's awesome, man. Really quick, just two more quick questions. I wanted to ask a little bit about if, again, this being a Wisconsin podcast, if Wisconsin were to continue the interest, if the offer were to possibly come, and obviously you have more visits coming up, but where would Wisconsin rank kind of on your list?
After experiencing the game day, they'd be first. I think that something that I could see myself playing in is that environment, and I'd thrive in there. So whatever Wisconsin wants to do, I'm on board with it. I have a decision plan. I'm gonna graduate early in December so I can go play ball in the spring, and I think that advance my improvement and advance my future. So my plan is to commit before December, before the early signing day. My original plan was to commit before my birthday, kind of around homecoming for us. But we'll see what happens. I got a lot of stuff to continue playing the senior season, continue showing coaches that I'm the guy, and prove to them that there's no one better than me.
I love it, man. I love the swagger. Last question here. For whichever fan base ends up, you end up representing, and whichever university you end up going to, what kind of quarterback is that university getting?
Like you said, a gunslinger, a guy that's going to do whatever. I'm going to put my body on the line to win. Last year I remember we were down, I think 5 going with like 2 minutes left. And I remember I trucked a kid and kind of got that mocked in me that I'm going to do whatever. And the kind of play that I, inspire myself to be is Johnny Manziel. I think he's maybe a little bit bigger than me, but actually, no, he's not. I think he's the same size as me. But he's a guy that I remember watching. I still watch his college highlight tape before every game because that's the kind of guy that I want to be. I'm that playmaker. I want to be the guy that's a game changer. And, with me, I want to be the guy that, they're going to look towards in the fourth quarter. I'm going to be that guy. And I just want to be a guy that everyone knows that they can count on, that even if we're down by 14 with 5 minutes left, we always still got a chance. So whatever college gets me, I'm going to show them I'm the guy and that I'm going to be a name that they'll remember for a long time.
I love it, man. I love the confidence, and quarterbacks have to have that. Cole, thank you so much for jumping on the show. I really, really do appreciate it. Your interview was awesome. Badger fans are going to love it. We're going to link all your social media stuff in the show, so people can definitely go and continue following along, checking out your film, and just rooting along, quite frankly. For everyone watching and listening to the show, thank you so much for joining in. Really do appreciate y'all as we continue to build this Badger community. When you're done here, go check out Locked On Big Ten, get all the latest news and notes from around the conference. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We got basketball recruiting coming up on Wisconsin, and let's go.